Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Jai Meher Baba. So we have a very, very, very exciting lineup today. We're also live casting to Baba Zoom. So I wanted to welcome everybody, of course, and welcome all the artists who are here today. It's going to be quite an awesome lineup. So what I was going to do today is go through a little PowerPoint that I prepared for today that summarizes what we've been able to do so far, and for the fact that we're just private citizens with no established fundraiser and charity and, built up fund for this sort of thing. It started from zero, and this is what we've got. So I don't know if you all have seen this. I snagged this little graphic off of Facebook, and one of the things that's most amazing, awesome, treacherous, dreadful is that there were 1,400 landslides. I mean, this was not just a little bit of flooding, you know what I mean? This was an unheard of catastrophe with something like 30 inches of rainfall on mile-high mountains that created these landslides everywhere. So Asheville itself, parts are completely decimated, but it's all around the area of Asheville, the small towns that are up in the mountains. So this is the scale of what we're talking about. So the link to this will be made available. So I'm not going to go through everything in detail out loud because we have such a fine program coming up. So this fundraiser was created just for the purpose of helping out. I only started it because I knew Baba lovers were doing real work on the ground. And so to support Baba lovers, I wanted to create this GoFundMe. So this is a quick list of the things that we've been able to do. The very first thing I did, even before a fundraiser, was create a centralized list for people who we know as Baba lovers. We have a strong community in Asheville. So the first thing that I saw a need for was a centralized list of people who are safe. And that turned out to be helpful that someone outside of the area was doing it, because within the area they had no cell phone, no internet, no access to communication. And even people who had phones stopped having phones. I mean, it's just total chaos. So this is a little summary. I'm going to go through this in more detail. I don't want to read this out loud to you all right now because we have lots to do today. So just a quick summary. This is the amount of money that we've raised to date. Approximately $54,000. It's quite amazing. About 44,000 of that came for 45,000 came from the GoFundMe. People have been also writing checks and sending Venmo and Zelle and PayPal. Okay. Anyway, I won't go through the whole list. So, how funds have been used to date. Notice the bottom line equals the amount of money that came in. When I got money, I sent it out. And these are a little summary of the categories that I put things under. So, purchased goods for donation. Now, some of that went to known Baba lovers, right? So there's some generators, some chainsaws that went to people that really needed it. And the rest went to Inga, so we're not only supporting Baba lovers. The water bearer project, I'll tell you more about, turned into a water filter project. It started as a water tanks project. The new Rehome project, I call it that. And then some straight up cash to help Inga and Marwan do what they do, and I'll tell you more about what they are doing. And then some help for individuals. So, this is the easy category. I just thought I'd start with this. So, you'll hear more about what Inga's been doing, but she was also using personal funds to help people. So, in order to help support that, I gave her some funding, and then also she's done some new stuff with the funds. Marwan, Irani, Inga is a Baba lover in Asheville area. Marwan Irani, you all know, first thing he did was used Chai Pani towards the World Central Kitchen effort to make food and distribute free hot food to all the survivors. So he immediately put his restaurant to work, and he's been having to, of course, support his employees however he can. So that's a little money to help him with that. And then 12 individuals who have lost a business, a car. There was a couple of people who are very close to Bob Lovers who lost houses. So obviously it's not a lot of money, but it's a little something, $500 a piece, just a little something. But so I've been able to help 12 individuals that way. So the Water Bearer Project, as I was mentioning earlier, originally was a project to purchase 30 tankers, 32 tanks, the kind that hold 330 gallons. But water started flowing in parts of Asheville. And this is a whole subject. I could go on for like probably 6 hours about the water. The water that they have running through the taps in Asheville is coming from the reservoir, and guess what's gotten into the reservoir? Everything. It's not just mud. It's yes, smelly mud from the bottom of creeks and streams. It's like the worst smelling, like it already smells bad. Chemicals from every chemical processing plant, plastics from every plastic processing plant, mining, etc. All the mining stuff. Super fun sites that have been buried for supposedly ever have been washed into this water. There are people who are taking showers in the water that's coming into their homes and getting rashes. And this is multiple people. I'm not just hearing this from one or two people. So this water is very dangerous. And what choice does Asheville have but to run it? They have to actually fill their system before they can fix it, and they have to let this water run through until they get fresh water. Where they're going to get fresh water from, on the scale of 20 million gallons, you know what I mean? Obviously they have to use the reservoir water. So this is a big deal. And so Ellie, who is a Bob lover, got connected to my funding through another Bob lover. So she was able to pivot from buying these tanks into buying filters. And if anybody has tried to buy filters, they're pretty freaking expensive. Yeah. A whole house filter is thousands. It's $4,000 or $5,000 depending on how big. Blah blah blah. Anyway, it's horrific. And so what she's done is a combination of some RO filters, some over-the-counter filters, some sink filters, that sort of shower filter. So she's been able to provide to 73 homes, and they're not all Bob lovers, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So friends, neighbors, look at these piles of boxes. She's just gotten them, literally yesterday, so it's really exciting. She might possibly have even more than that. I'll update the number when I hear exactly how many. So the very first thing that we started with was supply runs. Now how that worked was people were saying that they were going to Asheville area anyway. And then I was getting from Inga a list of things that she could use. And that's when I put two and two together and started this GoFundMe so that I could pay for things to buy for the people that Inga was helping, and of course any other known folks who needed stuff. So that's how it started, was people have excitement and passion to do stuff. I put up the GoFundMe and I put this part and that part together. And that's my style of working. So when Daniel came forward, he said, I'm going, what can I bring? I said, I've got a list. He went shopping for that list. Bob has paid for it through this fundraiser. So $2,600 for that one. When Charlie Eaton was going, I said, here's a list. He went out and bought stuff. Someone else went out and bought stuff. This truck we rented the truck. We paid for the gas. This truck was about $6,500 worth of stuff, in addition to whatever the Myrtle Beach community brought to the gateway. So that's why I say an unknown amount from the Myrtle Beach community, because I wasn't there to tally it all up. But yeah, pretty cool, right? First aid supplies. And here's the other end, receiving it. Yay, picture of Baba. So he went to Peter Nordine's to drop off some stuff, a generator, chainsaws for folks who could come pick it up from the Nordines, and then he took the rest to Inga's house. So here's Erich Adams with his son, and they've already cut down all these trees. So Glenn Sheffield, who's in the audience today, so he was saying, he's in Durham area, right? Is that right? And he was saying he wanted to go. He wanted to bring his chainsaw. Should he bring his car or truck? I said, truck. So he brought truck, trailer, and friend, Wally. Isn't it Wally? Where's? And friend brought chainsaw and pickup truck, and I gave him a shopping list. He went and bought all this stuff. Baba Zoom Fundraiser paid for it, and he worked. Look at how much water he got. He got so much water that he had to pick it up on he had a pallet and a forklift. Ah, there you go. So, what Inga's working on now, there is so much need, and it's ridiculous. It's beyond us, right? But what she's doing is she hears of people, and she just tries to help these people, and then from there, these people need help, and those people need help. And she's just trying to work within the folks that she actually is in direct contact with. It takes an incredible amount of time to do every part of everything. You know what I mean? So I'll show you a little 2-minute slideshow, but what I wanted to do first is just give an overview of what she's trying to do. She's trying to buy RVs, trailers, campers, anything that people can live in. So I'll show you a slideshow from Fairview, and it gives you an idea. 4 weeks out, there's mud piled up like a ridiculous amount. Houses are teetering on the edges of cliffs. I mean, the mudslides are like, if you own this much property, that much land left, like it's mind-boggling. So there's a lot of folks who are homeless in a totally tragic way. And I had an interview with her last night. It was about a half an hour. I'm not going to play it today. We have so much on our program today. But I will make that link available, and you can watch an interview with Inga talking about what she has personally seen and what she's been able to do and what we have been able to support her to do. So this particular situation, this picture is the first RV that she was able to deliver. This fella is widowed 3 times, poor guy, but the sweetest man, and he lost everything. And here is the delivery of an RV that he can live in. And he's happy as a clam. I mean, when you have 0, this is like the world. So if we can make a difference in 1 person or 10 people's lives or 15 people's lives, at least we've transformed their lives. So this is what we've been up to. I will play this little slideshow. So as you can see, I kind of bunched these slides, these photos together, because if I showed you each single one, this whole thing would take like 20 minutes. So I kind of bunched them together so you can see all the cars from above the hill got washed down to the bottom, you know, crushed, buried in mud, sides of trailers stove in, pieces of life just thrown around, cars stuck in trees. I mean, yeah, it's just insane. There's a picture here that I got that covered up a little bit, but there's a wheelchair that's up to half its depth in mud. And this is 4 weeks out. I mean, who can possibly, even in 4 weeks' time, dig themselves out of mud this deep? It's just insane. I've seen pictures of sides of entire mountains, just like, you know, decimated of trees. And then you flip to the other side of the mountain and all the trees are there. It's really mind-boggling. And this was just one trip to Fairview. She spent an afternoon just visiting with this fellow and then just walking around, taking some pictures. So she sent me 2 minutes worth in this condensed form. It's a lot to process. So it's not only the visuals, of course, it's the actual stories. These are real people who are experiencing their personal experience of what happened, and it's just horrifying. So, one of the stories is that the water was so high that there was a neighbor's body that got stuffed under a house and then came through and somehow ended up going through his own living room. So he's watching a neighbor float through his living room, and he still has nightmares about that. I mean, sends chills. Every story is similarly gruesome and touching, and yeah, it's a big experience. So that one RV, small as it is, can make the massivest difference in a person's life. So the need continues, as you can imagine. It's going to continue for a long time. I will keep this GoFundMe going, and I will keep pressing as far as reasonable. And if Baba wishes us to continue, we will just keep going. Inga feels the same way. If the support is there, she will just keep going. She worked out a deal with Camper World to get a discount on some campers, so she's got 3 or 4 lined up, ready to go. We need some funding. Yeah, if people are at all able to reach deep, it would be so meaningful to so many people. So, Jai Baba.
What's Inga's last name?
Savage. Her name is Savage.
Is she a Baba person?
She's very Baba. She's 100% Baba. She's had dreams about Baba. She's nothing but Baba.
How is she making the determination of who gets money and who doesn't?
So the question on the floor is, how does she make a determination of who gets money? She isn't giving out money, but she's encountering people. And just like through her travels, she's encountering people who need help, and then she's trying to help as much as can, and then the next person, and then the next person. And so she's actually making acquaintances of people and finding ways to help. So that's why she got into the RV part, because she went out to Fairview because she knew somebody who sent her there. So all of this has been about connections, all of it. There was a story I shared in the last Baba Zoom, where Jim Knudsen, who is in this room, so she had asked for a CB radio, and that sounds a little bit beyond my ken. I put it out to the Myrtle Beach Baba email list, and Jim Knudsen says, I know the person who's the head ham radio operator in that area, and I'll put you in touch. Well, it turns out that ham radio person who's in charge of relaying for that whole, whatever area it is, I'm fuzzy on the details, but the idea is here. That person put Inga in touch with a mountain community that had been stranded with no road, no means of communication except for this ham radio. And she was able to go there and bring them supplies and tell them that hope is here and that they're not forgotten. So,
how did she get there?
Well, you know, you kind of have to do the ATV thing and yeah.
Gotcha.
She has access to some of these things, so.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, every story makes me cry. So, Jai Baba. Glenn, are you there?
Thank you, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who do you write the checks to?
Oh, yes, sorry. Checks have to be written to Angela Lee Chen. Sorry about that. Baba Zoom doesn't even have its own checking account. We're just a community, you know? I never made the commitment to maintain a minimum balance for a checking account for Baba Zoom. That's how shoestring we are. But that's also how powerful we are. We are not an organization. We're a group of people, of individuals who are doing good things by aligning in the same direction. So,
But you take cash today.
I can take cash, check, credit, PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, credit card, gift in kind. You can sell stuff to other people and donate that. I think that Glenn might have had to leave because there's Wi-Fi in the room. I don't see him here. All right, so Peter, all yours.
All right, thank you, Angela. Let's hear it for Angela again. Shake my leg. All right.